Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about our journey of how our youngest daughter, Leah, became a British citizen. I'll take you through the process from start to the confirmation email. This is just a disclaimer at the beginning, just so that we are all on the same page. Please remember this is a personal experience. We are South African. Martin is a dual citizen, so British and South African, as is Leah now, British and South African. Every situation is different, every application is different, and some can take a lot of time and some can take a little bit less time. So I hope that this video is very encouraging. I hope it helps you if you are in a situation similar to ours, where one of your children is able to become a British citizen after 3 years. So here's our story. So to start off with, and just to be clear, Leah was of course born in South Africa. Leah is our youngest daughter. She is currently 12 years old. The time that we did her application to become a British citizen, she was on a further leave to remain visa. As I understood the situation, it had to be the British parent and the child living in the same country for over 3 years. But in the course of our application, they also needed confirmation from myself that I had also been living in the country for 3 years or more. So my suggestion is British parent, proof of that, non-British parent, more proof, and of course your child, proof that your child has been living in the UK for over 3 years. So the reason you may decide to get your child a British citizenship is for stability, travel, and a feeling of acceptance. Let's take it right back to the beginning and how we started everything with Robin from RCV International. Those of you who followed me for a very long time, or you even watched my video, how to find the right immigration consultant for you, on this channel, it was my very first long form video, you would know that we have always used Robin from RCV International. Now she is amazing, she is 5-star, her ladies at RCV are 5-star. I would recommend them to anybody. So back in October 2024, I sent Robin an email to say, hi Robin, we've been here for over 3 years. We have the money available to get Leah's citizenship. Would you be able to help us on this process? And of course, Robin was more than helpful. She sent us a breakdown of the price of the citizenship forms that we would need to use. And of course, she also told us her fee, which I won't tell you what her fee was, but for the application itself, I think it was £1,218 at the time. So that was October 2024. I'm not sure what the rate is now. You would need to check that on gov.uk. So there was that. And then of course she sent us a whole lot of forms. So there are 2 forms that you will need to fill in. Sorry, there's not 2, sorry. She sent us 2, yes, sorry, she actually did send us 2 forms. So there's the MN1, which is your application document that you need to fill in for your child. And then there is the reference and identity forms. So the reference and identity, the M1N1 document, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes quickly. So the MN1 and the application can be between 3 to 9. MN1 document, you need to then supply documentation to the government that proves that you and your child have been living in the country for over 3 years. With your MN1 form, you need to send documentation to prove that you have been living in the United Kingdom for over 3 years. Like I said previously, I thought it was just Martin, but it actually turned out to be both of us. So things like lease agreements, pay slips, P45s, P60s, whatever, work sort of confirmation that you've worked at a certain place for X amount of time. Of course, then there was all Leah's documentation. So we had to send Martin's birth certificate, our marriage certificate, Leah's birth certificate, as well as Martin's parents' information as well. We had to send quite a few documents with the MN1 form to prove that we had lived here for over 3 years and we are who we say we are. Then it came time to proving that Leah had lived here for over 3 years. So that was things like school letters, NHS letters, letters from the doctor, anything like that, anything that can prove that she's been here for 3 years. And then you get 2 reference and identity forms. So what happens is these forms are forms that you need to take to 2 people. One has to be a British citizen, one does not. And you have to ask them to fill in these forms. These are to say that they know your child, and your child has, they know them. So we asked our pastor to fill in one, and we asked Leah's teacher to fill in the other. The only thing with the teacher is she didn't fill in her private details. She filled in the school's details, and the school backed it up that she had been Leah's teacher for a year. Once all of that was done, we submitted all relevant documents, reference forms, and we paid for the visa on the 11th of November 2024. We then had to go ahead and book the biometrics, which Robin does for us, and she booked the biometrics in Norwich because that is the closest biometric office to us. And that was on the 25th of November 2024 at 9 o'clock. We didn't hear anything from the application until the 5th of February 2025. I got quite a long email. I was a little bit confused, and at first I thought it was that Leah had been already, they were giving her citizenship. It wasn't that. They made a request for more documents. I think it was the request for Leah, for more documents for Leah. So I had to sort of dig around for some more documents, which I submitted to them. Then on the 13th of March, they sent me another request for documents. This time it was me. This is why I say I always thought it was just a British parent, not both parents, but it actually is both parents, because they sent a request for documentation for me for the last 3-4 years, which was easy enough because I had my visa documentation, I had my English test, and at the time I was working for a little while, so I had some pay slips which I could also submit. I received the decision email on the 17th of April 2025 to say that Leah was officially a British citizen. So overall, it took plus minus 5 months for Leah to become a British citizen. From date of application to the confirmation email. We then had to do the passport, which is a very simple thing. You go online, and you have to submit a photo. You have to submit her certificate to say that she's a citizen, so you have to wait for that certificate to arrive. And then you have to get someone else to sort of verify your child, they have to be a British citizen as well. But they can all get done online. So Leah officially has her South African and her British passport. Really nice that Leah is now a British citizen. The challenge we faced was that it was possibly our fault that it took more than 5 months due to the fact that we were not submitting enough documents. So my suggestion to you is, no matter if the parent is British or South African or whatever, my suggestion is send as much documentation as you can to prove that both parents and the child live in the country together, and it should make it a little bit easier, possibly a lot less time. The other thing I can say is keep copies of everything. So every time you're sending an email, make sure that you know what's on that email, possibly keep it in a separate folder on your computer or something so that it's easily accessible. Or start as soon as you can. As soon as you realize that your child has been here for 3 years with both parents, I think get started. Why not? And as long as you have the money for the British citizenship, I don't see a problem. Look, it can get a bit expensive. We had to obviously save up for a little while. That's why we didn't do it after 3 years. We only did it after 4 years. But once we had that money and once we've done it, and now we have the security that she's a British citizen, it's a lot nicer for her. My very last bit of advice: be patient. Check your emails, check your spam, always making sure to keep updated with the emails. So that's the story of our journey. It wasn't a horrible or uncomfortable journey. I just think if we had originally put in more documents than we thought we should have, it might not have taken so long, but it took what it did, and at the end of the day, everything worked out, and here we are. So thank you once again for watching this video. I hope it's helpful. If there is anything you'd like to ask me, please ask me in the comments. But like I did say, we are South African, and this was our experience. So if your experience is a bit different, it's not bad. It's just different. So please feel free to ask any questions in the comments. I'd be happy to answer what I can. If I can't, I will say, look, I'm unsure. Please contact, whoever. My suggestion always, and this is always my number one suggestion, is if you have an immigration consultant, go to them first. They're there to help. Robin is so helpful. As always, I will link Robin's business, RCV International, down in the comments. Please, in the description bar. Like I say, if you're ever looking for a great immigration consultant, Robin is top notch and 5-star service as always. Anyway, once again, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.